News 5 on your side presents Kaleidoscope, focusing on people who make a difference in Northeast Ohio communities.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast today. The Alabama State University National Alumni Association hosts its Midwest Conference in Cleveland, May the 18th and 20th. President of the Cleveland chapter, James Catledge, and Midwest Region Director Jocelyn Travis joined me this morning to tell us about this event. And later we'll hear from the soloist Chanel McLeod. She will perform at the Cleveland Museum of Art on May the 12th. And on the broadcast after that, Executive Director of the East Cleveland Public Library, Sheba Marcus Bay, and Executive Artistic Director of 12 Literary Arts, Daniel Gray, will share information about Daniel Gray Contar, I should say, will share information that's taking place in June, focusing on a visit from an award-winning poet and social justice activist called Christos. Good morning again, everybody. I'm Leon Bibb. This is Kaleidoscope, and so we begin. Always glad to have you with me. Jocelyn Travis is with us, as is James Catledge. They are with the Alabama State University Alumni Association. Good to have you both with us.
Great to be here.
Yeah. What's the mission? What do you try to do as the Alabama State National Alumni Association?
We try to foster a relationship between Alabama State University, its students, its faculty, and alumni that live here in Cleveland. We recruit students from all over the country, but here in Cleveland, we recruit students and we offer scholarships to our students. Most of our students are from area high schools here. The biggest area of recruiting that we send to Alabama State is students from Shaw High School, because Shaw has an outstanding band.
Right.
And our band is outstanding as well.
That's all part of that historically black college and university feeling of bands, which is very prevalent. Jocelyn, let's bring you into the conversation right now. You've got a big conference coming up.
Yes.
Tell me about this conference that's going to run between May the 18th and the 20th.
Yes, well, we have a National Alumni Association, and we have 4 regions, and we are part of the Midwest region. So we have alumni chapters throughout the region: Detroit, Chicago, Dayton, Cincinnati, St. Louis, and of course Cleveland, and we're hosting this year.
Yeah.
And so we'll have our alum come in, and we'll have workshops, we'll have training. We'll also, our newly appointed president, Dr. Quentin Ross, will be here as our luncheon speaker. Dr. Ross is a former state senator. Actually received all of his degrees from Alabama State, bachelor's, master's, and doctorate.
Yeah. This event is going to be at the Holiday Inn in Strongsville, May the 18th and 20th. How do people get in line to participate in this? What must they do, James?
We have online registration that they can register through the conference, or they can contact Jocelyn or myself at James Catledge, sbcglobal.net, and we have a packet that they can fill out, and we'll respond to them from there.
Yeah, I've got a phone number we're going to put on the screen as well, of 216-926-6535, or you can go to alasu.edu. More information on everything we're talking about.
Yeah, and that's our university website to really find out more about the university.
This is important now. You're long graduated from the university. This is important to stay involved in it, isn't it, James?
Yes, it is. I graduated in 1969 from Alabama State University, and since my leaving Alabama State, I have been actively involved with the university, the students, and helping to keep the Cleveland chapter alive and well. I think you remember quite well that your mother and your father
I remember. I was going to bring that up, but as a full disclosure, my mother and father are both graduates of Alabama State University. In fact, they met at Alabama State University in the mid-1930s, and Dad graduated in the around 1940 or so. So I got an emotional tie. I didn't go there, but Mother and Dad went there, and I guess I came from that union. Certainly, I came from that union. This is vital to keep those kinds of family ties and keep those kinds of graduate ties to the university, isn't it?
Absolutely. My daughter, both of our daughters went to Alabama State, and we're just really excited. As a matter of fact, when the weekend of the conference, our Director of Admissions and Recruitment will be here as well. So we're going to go into 4 area high schools. One of them, Maple Heights High School, the principal is a graduate of Alabama State. We'll go to Ginn Academy, we'll go to Warrensville High School, and of course we have to go to Shaw High School and recruit. And also one of our highlights of the conference, students who have been admitted to ASU will have a future Hornet reception so that the students and their parents can come and meet our alum and meet our faculty. So they'll be, you know, you're going a long way. We're going to Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah.
So we want the parents to feel very comfortable.
And of course, the colors of the Hornets, the Alabama State University Hornets, obviously are black and gold.
Yes.
So good to have you. Why do you stay involved in this? This is not just something that you do. I mean, this is your heart, isn't it, James?
Yes. I bleed black and gold. I bleed Alabama State University. I'm on that campus about once a month or so. And what I want parents to know is that we're not sending your children 800 miles away where they won't be nurtured, they won't be mentored, they won't be taken care of, because we're actively involved in every phase of the university with its students and its programs. And what I simply tell students that are there, when you have a problem, call me. And we can work it out. You'll work it out. Yes. We've got a phone number on the screen where you can get more information on everything we're talking about with Jocelyn Travis and James Catledge, both of Alabama State University National Alumni Association. That phone number is 216-926-6535. And you can also go to the website alasu.edu. More information on Alabama State University, located in the heart of Montgomery, Alabama. That's your hometown, too. Yes, my hometown. I was born there. Yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. I appreciate what Alabama State University did for my parents. It got them educated and got them together. And And our marching Hornets will appear in the Rose Bowl parade. In the Rose Bowl. So we're going to look for them. Yeah, we're going to look for them. That's coming up on the 1st of January. On the 1st of January. All right. And right now we're in the middle of still celebrating our sextilcentennial. 150 years. Well, good for But this is the 151st year. But we're still celebrating that. Because Alabama State was born out of a struggle from 9 former freed slaves that started Alabama State University. So 150 years later, we're still here. Jocelyn Travis, James Catledge, many thanks for being on the broadcast.
Thank you so much.
I'll take a break. I'll be right back in just a moment. This is Kaleidoscope. Thank you. Welcome back to Kaleidoscope. I'm Leon Bibb. Chanel McLeod performs her motivational experience event at the Cleveland Museum of Art on Saturday, May the 12th. She intertwines the spoken word and storytelling and live music backed by a band. Chemistry is the name of the band. Chanel is here to tell us more about that. Chanel McLeod, good to have you with us.
Oh, I'm so thankful to be here.
Tell me about this. What is a that you've been tapped as a motivational experience?
Yes, I do a motivational experience, which it intertwines motivational speaking with a twist, and that twist is singing, live music, storytelling, poetry. So the message is there, but I'm not just standing there saying, you know, this is my message. I'm giving an artistic, theatrical experience. So it's more than just a message, it's an experience.
How did you get into this?
Well, I've always been blessed with many talents, and I wanted to figure out, well, how can I put these talents together? But more than that, I feel like my passion is to motivate people, to inspire people. So I came up with this idea to intertwine these things, all of the things that I have talents in, and create a show, not just a message, not just me standing there speaking, but an experience that people can take with them.
Yeah, this is going to be 2 o'clock at Saturday, May 12th at the Cleveland Museum of Art.
Yes.
That's quite a location. I mean, you got quite a venue to perform.
Yes, because I want to create something that people can not just have or hear, but feel. And the venue, just down there, period, is beautiful. So hopefully people will come, enjoy the art, and then come and enjoy the show and have a feeling of inspiration in them as they leave.
Give me a couple of examples. Give me an example of the kind of stories that you may tell.
Well, yes. Well, one of the examples is a story about Joseph, a man who had lived a beautiful life. He was a good provider, but when he laid in his deathbed and he left his body, he saw someone at the foot of his bed, and what that was his dream. He had lived this life, but he had not fulfilled his dream. And it was something that left him, and his dream talked to him about what he could have done and what he could have been if he had just believed.
So there's a lesson right there.
Yes.
And that's why you've entitled your program Voice of a Dream. Voice
of a Dream, because I feel like so many of us, I know so many of us have that inside of us, that you should do this, you should try this, but for so many reasons, a lot of times fear, or I'm too this, or not enough this, or this time I'll do it, or 10 years, or 1 year, you know, and we push it off, but we have to listen to that voice. And I know because I've listened to it, you know, that voice was inside of me too.
Yeah. Chanel McLeod, so you listened, is that what got you to this point?
Yes.
By listening to that voice?
Yes, because I've always felt like there was something inside of me that wanted to inspire people to be their best self, to follow that potential inside of them. And I know about those fears, and I know about that not feeling, well, maybe I'm not good enough, or I'm not skinny enough, or I'm not this enough. But I said the only way that I can inspire people is by being that, doing that. So my journey is me following the voice of my dream.
What must people do to get to this event on Saturday, May the 12th, 2 o'clock at the Cleveland Museum of Art in University Circle? What must people do to get in line, to tear down the door and get in to hear Chanel McLeod?
Yes, go to professionalinspiration.com. That's professional-inspiration.com to get tickets. It's in an intimate venue, so they're going to need to make sure that they get those tickets soon, because again, I create this experience. I want everybody in the room to feel it.
Well, save a seat on the aisle for me.
Yes.
See this.
Okay, yes.
You're quite an inspiration. Did you grow up here in Cleveland?
Yes, I was born and raised in Cleveland, and I feel like I'm meant to be Cleveland's motivator, because there's so much that people say about Cleveland, but I always believed in
You're motivating me. I'll tell you that. Okay. Chanel McLeod, motivational entertainer. She's going to be performing Saturday, May 12th at the Cleveland Museum of Art, and you can get tickets by going to professional-inspiration.com or calling 681-6202 as you see at the bottom of the screen. Many thanks, Chanel.
Thank you.
See you on stage.
All right.
I'll be back in just a moment. This is Kaleidoscope. We'll talk about the East Cleveland Public Library after this. You're in touch with Kaleidoscope. East Cleveland Public Library has partnered with the LGBTQ Community Center of Greater Cleveland and 12 Literary Arts Incorporated to bring award-winning poet and social justice activist Christos to Cleveland in June. Sheba Marcus Bay is Executive Director of the East Cleveland Public Library, and she is here with Executive Artistic Director of 12 Literary Arts, Daniel Gray Kantar, Executive Artistic Director at 12 Literary Arts. Good to have you both with us.
Thank you.
We know what the library does in the East Cleveland Public Library, so we begin with Daniel Gray Kantar. What's 12 Literary Arts?
Well, 12 Literary Arts does a few things, but primarily we bring performance poetry into public spaces throughout the city of Cleveland. And we also provide professional development and workshopping for adult writers and for youth writers. So we have a number of after-school programs that help support our youth in the art of performance poetry.
Dealing with poetry, you are a man of words, and we've got a woman of words. The library is filled with millions of words. East Cleveland Public Library. You've got this partnership now.
I do. And in the words of Christos, she says there is no way to inspire people to social change without art. And so we have that Performing Arts Center at the East Cleveland Public Library, the Greg L. Reese Performing Arts Center, and we've invited Christos to come and share her poetry with us.
Now tell me about Christos. Now I've got a little thing here we'll hold up while you tell me more about Christos.
Well, Christos is a Menominee two-spirit poet. She is an indigenous person, First Nation person, and she's an award-winning poet that has been executing her craft since she was 9 years old. She was self-taught by her father. Her father named her Christos. He gave her that name, and she's been on her path to inspire people. Her work is mostly focused on colonialism, genocide, class, gender, and things along those lines. And she really speaks to the heart of the indigenous person, the Native American, the woman of color, or the person of color.
Yeah.
So we invited her to come and be with us to explore her poetry. She is a living treasure.
This performance is going to be Saturday, June 16th at 3 o'clock at the East Cleveland Public Library, located right there on Euclid Avenue at the corner road.
Yes. Well, it's not on the corner. It's not that far
Yeah.
from Stephanie Tubbs Jones health clinic.
Right, catty corner from that, as I recall. Words are important, aren't they? We can do a lot. We can say a lot. We can bring social change through art. Tell me about that.
Right. So I think that it's really important to have literary artists come, particularly literary artists of color, who can help us understand that our words have the capacity to speak truth to power and to create the type of change that we want to see. So not everyone who comes to see a Christos obviously is going to be a poet. However, what Christos is going to do is use her words to inspire others to think about different ways that they themselves may be able to use their own words wherever they are to speak similar truth to power.
You live this. You not only talk about this, I mean, you live this as the executive director of 12 Literary Arts.
Yes, every day. It's been a part of my core value system, understanding the importance of words, sharing that importance of words with young people, and inspiring adults also to use their voices at the same time, not just in the literary arts, but in their everyday experiences and lives.
And Sheba Marcus Bay is executive director of the East Cleveland Public Library.
Yes.
You live more than just, the library is more than what we think of the library.
It is.
What is the library?
It's a space with no walls. And when you think about that, it is a space that you can carry in your heart. Within the individual, we're all a library, we're a genetic library. So it's so much information we all hold within ourselves that the possibilities are expanded when you think what a library is. It's not just a building with four walls.
That's why you've got this performing arts center right there in the library.
Yes, and the power of performing arts is it brings an experience to people, and it touches the heart, and it ignites the imagination. So that's the true intention of, I believe, performing arts.
How do we whet the appetites, W-H-E-T? How do we whet the appetites of young people to get into that spoken word, or to get into that written word, or to get in that performance? What do we do to get more people in?
It's a good question. I think that in this moment, there are a lot of young people who are really interested in social transformation and social change. We live in a very interesting period in the evolution of America. And this moment, it's really important to get people to understand their voice matters, so get them to identify what is important to them. And when they have a sense of what's important to them, that's bigger than themselves, they attach that to the creation of poetry.
This partnership with the LGBTQ Community Center of Greater Cleveland and 12 Literary Arts Centers, are we trying to get people to open up their eyes and embrace all people, accept all people?
June is National Pride Month, and so we thought it would be a good opportunity to bring something cultural to the community, and so we came up with the idea of bringing Christos. And so we reached out to 12 Literary Arts, and we reached out to the center, and the executive director was her name is Seven. She was very excited about this partnership and bringing us closer to being able to offer something culturally enriching during Pride Month.
I want to put a phone number on the screen, more information on everything we're talking about on this event, Saturday, June 16th, 3 o'clock at the East Cleveland Public Library. You can go to 541-4128 in the 216 area code, more information, or you can go to eastclevelandpubliclibrary.org, more information, or you can go to 12arts.org, more information on everything what we're talking about. In our final seconds, how much time we have left? I think we got about a minute or so. Leave us with a final thought on why you think this is vital.
So I think that this is a really important event and an important person to bring, because it's important to identify someone who has intersectional identities. And what I mean by that is a person who is not just living their experience as a woman, not just living their experience as a gay person or straight person, not just living their experience as a native, but bringing all of those things together, bringing all of those identities together. In this one person, we see all of these identities play out, and it's important for us to see that.
We wish you well with your event, Saturday, June 16th, 3 o'clock at the East Cleveland Public Library. Radical Words, it's called. Christos will be performing at East Cleveland Public Library. Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sheba Marcus Bay and Daniel Gray Contar, many thanks for being on the broadcast.
Thank you.
I'll take a break. I'll be right back. I've got a commentary, some of my own thoughts after this. A final thought right now. When I was growing up, one of the hot songs rising quickly up the charts was the Motown hit, Dancing in the Streets. The lyrics were, all you need is music, sweet music. There'll be music everywhere. There'll be dancing, swinging, swaying, records playing, dancing in the street. There's a Clevelander who kept his own music in the streets and kept us swinging and swaying. He passed away this week. He was nicknamed the Sax Man because he blew a mean and mellow saxophone on downtown Cleveland streets. Maurice Reedus Jr. I knew him, also knew his father, Maurice Sr., who was also a sax man, well known in jazz circles. But this story is about Maurice Reedus Jr., who made an impact and who perhaps touched your life, although perhaps you did not know his name. Maurice Reedus Jr. died the other day at the age of 65. He was not rich with money, but was rich with his music, which he gifted to all who walked along the Playhouse Square Theater District, especially before a play or a music performance inside one of those showplaces of entertainment. Or you might find him outside the ballpark or court before the Indians, Cavaliers, or Browns games. When I heard of his death, I felt a personal loss. You see, I look for him whenever I walk downtown streets, especially just before a Cleveland Playhouse performance or a Cleveland sports team game. Maurice lived in a small apartment where his family found his body. Just as years ago he had served his country in the U.S. Army, he also served this city, giving of himself. He often stood in the chill of Cleveland's late autumn and winter scenes, or the hot of the summer where heat waves bounced off the asphalt, along with his musical notes which bounced melodically off them as well. Maurice was a true Cleveland personality. In this age where so much is said of entertainers who charge big money for tickets to hear them play, you did not have to pay to hear Maurice. The sax man, he played for free. He would take any contribution you wanted to make, and he played on the sidewalk. But it was not necessary to pay him. A few years ago, there was a documentary made about Maurice. I interviewed him. I was interviewed about him and saluted him. I still salute him. He was a treasure to this community. So many of us are looking for harmony in our own lives. Many of us chase dollars, hoping we find happiness. Maurice Reedus had a harmony in his own life, and the rhythm, it flowed through that sweet saxophone sound he laid out on the streets. Maurice Reedus Jr. We all miss him. Certainly I do. Take care.
This has been a presentation of News 5's Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland.